we always have to multitask, so we thought we would answer a question someone asked. Someone asked about how we bought the farm. In fact, lots of people have asked, but a couple people in particular. So we're gonna talk about our journey to how we got the farm, and while we're snapping peas in our garden, because it's a lot of work on a farm. So multitasking, but we'll try to stay on topic. I'm Kelly.
I'm Britt.
And this is the Rainbow Connection Farm. Before we met, we had very similar ideas, but we're thinking about them in a different way. I wanted to get out of the city. I was done. I had loved living downtown, but I just wanted peace and quiet. And I never thought I could buy land, so my plan was I had built out a bus and a van before, so my plan was to build out a van and go live in the woods with my dog somewhere, some national forest. I just wanted to be in nature. And then I met Britt.
And I wanted peace too, and to get out of the rent cycle. And I was looking at land. I wanted to find land and even live in the camper if I had to. But getting a loan for land is not easy. Not easy.
No. And she had a camper when we met, which was one of the things I got very excited about. And then we started talking about how if we did it together, it would make more sense. I had a very stable, I'm a pastor, so I had a very stable income. My credit wasn't as great. Britt had great credit, but
a lower paying job.
So together we thought, oh, we can make this work. So we began looking at airplane. We have purple beans, aren't they cool? We have yellow, green, and purple. These are our bush beans. So back to what I was saying. We started looking at the USDA and all these ways that you can get help. All the ways. Sometimes we start talking and we're putting the wrong part in here. And yeah, we've got this. We're good at this. We're farmers.
Done this before.
So we started looking at the USDA. And they had all of these things on YouTube about how they had programs for women farmers and all these grants. And so we're like, okay, we can do this. We found some land that we liked that was within the price range we thought. And we were going to put her camper out there and live on it and get a farm loan. Worked hard on getting it all together, made a business plan, and then went to the U.S. Department of Agriculture shop and sat down with the people there, and I don't know. They told us that there is no existing program, even though it says it on the website, even though every YouTube video they've done is about it, even though they have the paperwork to fill it out. We were told there's no way. They don't actually give marginalized people these grants. And then they gave us a whole bunch of obstacles and told us basically it would take several years to get a grant. And that what we were looking at, we might not even get it anyways. And they sent us to the Ag Credit Union because they said they can help us get the grant maybe better. Carolina Ag. So we went to Carolina Ag and gave them all of our paperwork, all of our stuff, and waited a couple of weeks to hear back. And they said they can't do anything. They just said, nope, sorry. So then we realized we just had to do the old-fashioned way. We had to get a mortgage for a house and see what we could do. So we went to gayrealtor.com. I'll put the link below, and we met Corey. Corey actually had a farm in Western North Carolina and a place down here, and began kind of helping us figure out what we did need. We had in our head that we had to have over 10 acres. We didn't. For several different things, including future grants that we might need. The place we were looking at, she was upfront and honest and said, I won't sell you that house. I won't sell you that land. And so that kind of busted our bubble and made us sad. But then she began actually sending us possibilities.
Out of the flood zone.
Out of the
Which was
flood
another
zone. Yeah.
huge thing around here.
Yeah, here we looked at the water table in the flood zone, even for land that we could grow on, land that you can use, land that you can get help with. If you do get help through some grants, we had to be out of the flood zone. And that meant we had to go a little bit further than we were thinking, away from Wilmington. And so she sent us a couple of possibilities and then sent us this place, and that was about 15 minutes further than we wanted.
Which I think I'd seen it online before and passed by it because
It was just, we thought it's too far because I work in Wilmington and it was just way too far. But then we started to think about it, and really when I lived in Wilmington, on one side of Wilmington, driving across Wilmington to get to my job was about an hour because it's a busy city, and driving in to Wilmington from here was about an hour. So I was like, actually it's not that different because you're driving straight into where I work. Anyways, we made the choice that we would look outside of our place. So that's the first thing, is if you are looking for affordable land, sometimes it needs to be in the middle of nowhere. And you're gonna get more land, a better price, and I think better land. I mean, our land is rich. It's not been compromised by anything. So I think you have to kind of give up on the dream that you're gonna get the perfect place exactly where you want. You have to expand your horizons. Mm-hmm. And when we did, Corey brought us out here. What did you think when you first got here?
Beautiful, just green. Especially from being in the city for a while.
Yeah.
And it felt private and secluded. Yet close enough to things.
Yeah.
Not too
far. I mean, we could actually walk to a little tiny Piggly Wiggly, and a couple of restaurants. So it didn't feel too far, although it is a very tiny town, way, way out in the middle of nowhere. And so we came out here. We fell in love. Like, we knew at the very beginning this was it. We are coming for the first time to see a farm we might buy. We're sitting here waiting for the real estate agent to get here, but it's beautiful. We might be falling in love. And then we went back, and Corey found us the most amazing mortgage company called Movement Mortgage. In fact, I'm going to put their information because we would not be here without them. And so we started the process of a mortgage on farmland in a very low-income county. And the way we found Movement Mortgage was we had talked to 2 other mortgage companies and went online and did all of those online mortgage companies, and 3 of them actually said no. And 2 of them were yes until they found out we were going to be married women, and then all of a sudden that kind of stopped. But when we found Movement Mortgage, they were all in. They were like, yeah, let's figure this out. Let's make this happen. So we looked at the land, and the land came with a house, but the house is actually a mobile home, which is very big in Eastern North Carolina. Most farms have mobile homes, or really old farmhouses that they won't certify. So this was a mobile home. Everything was working, water, electricity. It was in the 90s. Was it built?
2000, I think.
2000. It's very much looked like it was in the 90s inside, but it was 2000. A lot of stuff had been jimmy-rigged and fixed along the way, but it was a home. Unfortunately, because it was a mobile home, we couldn't get a regular house mortgage. So we couldn't get all of those government-backed mortgages easily, or first-time home buyers or anything like that. So we had to get a straight mortgage. And my credit wasn't great, but our sweet mortgage agents. Hi, everyone. This is our hero, Omar. He has helped us get our mortgage and gone above and beyond. So I'll put some information below about him. Thank you, Omar.
Well, thank you.
Actually went above and beyond. They told me exactly what to do. They said, pay this, do this. They called, they paid out of their own pocket to get a credit report. redone quickly and got us approved. We were thinking we weren't going to get it. In fact, we had looked at a couple other properties just trying to fall out of love with this one.
Yep.
And everyone I looked at, I was like, no. But we got approved, and then we made an offer on this house, and they didn't accept it.
Yes.
And then
I remember that
yes.
day and texting you, I
Yes.
don't want to give up on it.
Yeah, I don't want to give up on
And
it. We're like,
we negotiated, what, one more time?
one more time, and then it worked. Now, mind you, what we paid for this house and land that was already fenced in was less than a lot with no house would have been where we lived. So because we moved far out, we were able to afford a very, very small mortgage. And it came with a house that had lots of issues. Our home is very sweet, but it needed some plumbing and some electrical, and we soon found out a new well. But we're learning along the way how to do that ourselves. So
It also came with land and
Yes.
sheds and barns. And
yes,
so, oops, there I go again. So yeah, worth it.
worth it. So basically, we tried every kind of grant you can get for a farm. And that failed. We tried to go to the normal like ag agencies and got the runaround, basically. Not any support, just the runaround, and then it's not going to happen. And then we found the perfect realtor and the perfect mortgage company. And with the right ones, they'll help. And I'm going to put both of their links down there. I don't know how the mortgage company works. I know Corey is in North Carolina, in several places in North Carolina, or may have a connection to someone else. So we were able to mortgage this. We were able to pull together all of the money. So I'm sure many of you have had mortgages before, but with a mortgage, you're paying all kinds of fees. You're having to pay for people to come out and look at the house and do appraisals and several different things, and that all adds up. So you're looking at your loan amount, but then you're looking at what you have to put down. And then we scraped it together. We had savings. I had a retirement that I was able to borrow from a little bit, not much, but a little bit. We sold some stuff. We had a few tiny gifts, loans from Britt's family, and we were able to do it. I mean, it was down to $10 at the end, and we were like, okay, we can eat ramen noodles if we have to, because we are going to move out here. We are going to do this.
Yeah. And
so we got out here, and it took a lot of crying and a lot of worry and a lot of patience, lots of patience. That bean just was so juicy it spit on me. Lots and lots of patience. But now we are sitting in the middle of our garden with our ducks quacking in the background, our pigs over there, snapping beans, and we have a home that we are in love with, that we are still working on fixing it up and making it our own. But we did it. So find the right mortgage people, find the right real estate agent, listen to them, don't take the first thing that comes along. And when you fall in love with something, listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. I think what Britt fell in love with the most was the fencing. Every time we looked at other places and talked about fencing, they were like, no, no. And so there are maybe a couple of things, final thought, there may be a couple of things that are your non-negotiables.
Yeah.
You need to stick to those. Ours became a home that we could actually live in. Even if it wasn't perfect, we could live in. Fencing was a big one.
Yeah.
Some kind of
get
boundary.
The animals out here immediately. That means stop paying rent on Harley and
being able to have some kind of enclosures, even if they're not perfect, some kind of enclosure to work with. And if you're going to have animals, I would say some kind of barn or structure. They're going to be so expensive. And once we got into the house, we had zero money for the first several months. I mean, zero money. So we knew we weren't going to move in and be like, oh, we have all this we can start doing. We knew it was going to be a while. So make sure you can live in the place.
And even then, it came with
Yeah.
a lot of materials that we've been able to use.
Yes.
And we found a lot of materials, so.
One of the cool things about sometimes buying a farm is that farmers leave stuff behind that they can't take. They have collections of things like wood and pipes and bricks and all kinds of stuff that you're going to need. But so anyways, that was our little journey. If you have questions about it, if you have questions about like how we got our mortgage, what I did for my credit, all of that, we're happy to answer those, but we didn't want to go into too much detail. We're trying to keep these under 12 minutes. But thank you for joining us, and we're going to keep shelling, we're going to keep snapping beans because we have a big bushel to go and start freezing for the winter. And we'll see you next time on the Rainbow Connection Farm. Bye-bye.